Keith Heidick from BoxingScene.com. Congratulations on your win. It looked like he affected you with a body shot in maybe the 8th round. Could you take us through that sequence and let us know how you felt with that?
It was weird, man. I ain't going to lie. Backstage, I was sitting down, and I felt my body hurting with the cup. It was weird. I was like, "Ooh, you ain't going to want to get touched there today, boy." You know, I know everybody talks about me and body shots, yada, yada, yada. But maybe it has something to do with the weight pool. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe my liver is a little sensitive. You know, I always try not to look at it like that. I'd like to say, you know, if somebody lands a good shot, they land a good shot. And body shots are just different, you know. But it is interesting. If I breathe deeply, I can still kind of just feel awkward in that body region. Like I said, I felt tenderness before I was even touched tonight. So that one shot definitely awakened a little sensation of discomfort and pain. It wasn't the hardest that I've ever been hit. If he was able to step in a little bit more, dig a little bit deeper, he may have been able to put me down. A lot of people who landed good body shots almost put me down, but look, they still haven't put me down, bro. You know, at the end of the day, they can't make it happen. So Pacquiao didn't do it, Mario didn't do it, and Luis Collazo didn't do it. You know, Sean Porter didn't do it. Sean's wasn't that good. I backed up because it landed, and then he rushed me, and it looked bad on TV. I know it looked bad on TV, and the commentators jumped on I was hurt. I wasn't really hurt. But the other 3 body shots that I've taken that you guys seen on highlights, Keith Thurman was hurt. But that's what it means to be a world-class fighter. You know, it's like Phil Ivey. We got a poker face up in that ring, you know. And sometimes you can read a fighter. You can tell that he's hurt. But then that's when the true warrior spirit comes out, and we endure. And when I make it through the round, I sharpen up. You know, let them take that round if the judges think that was enough to win. Otherwise, you know, we just get back into boxing and we get back to winning the fight.
What's up, man? Jim Greasehaber, Fight Vibe. We talked the other day at the press conference, we did our interview, about all the time off, 3 fights in 5 years, the surgeries, the stuff you went through mentally. Yeah. How good does it feel right now, man, to have been in there and move the way you move, connect with your punches the way you did, and just to mentally know that you didn't lose anything, man. You're back to being you again. How's that feel?
Well, we felt pretty good in camp. You know, I was telling people, you know, you got to get the ring rust off in preparation, man. So I was moving and shaking and trying to groove and get my movement back. You know, you guys saw some of the story. I've been doing more yoga. Yoga is beneficial for inside and outside of the ring, but inside of the ring is bringing more mobility. At the age of 33, you know, a lot of y'all are older than me. Y'all know what your body's been through, and you're not even a high-performing athlete like me, right, who suffered these injuries and gone through things. So at the end of the day, I know so much about sports science. For me not to implement it is just straight ignorance. So that's why I said there's one modality that I haven't done yet. I really need to jump on that. There's one other modality, to be honest, like high altitude training. I am debating about getting into that. So I just want to stay mobile, stay moving. I know I'm very crafty, and I think that's what's going to help me in the future of this welterweight division.
What about mentally? We talked about what you went through and how you overcame, but the mental toughness it takes to be an elite athlete is incredible anyway. But with everything you went through, can you talk about what that is for you to have this and to know when nobody else maybe around you is even thinking the same things you're thinking? So
I'll open up, man. And it was challenging even being here in Las Vegas. You know, Mario Barrios and me both. We're in a very interesting predicament this fight. We're both coming off of losses. How confident can a man feel knowing that he was stopped in his last fight, knowing that I lost in front of thousands and thousands of fans in my last fight? How much confidence can 2 warriors really bring into the ring? You know, if we're honest with ourselves, there's going to be that little voice that says, hey, you were just beaten. Hey, what happens if you can't do what you want to do, you know? And I heard that voice leading up to this week, you know, is Keith Thurman really back? You know, and I just said, look, man, you've been working hard. You've been moving well. You're very smart. You know, it was a marginal loss. There was no, it wasn't a real negative. Even though it was negative, even though I felt a lot of negative emotions afterwards, enough time has gone by. The lack of activity can be looked at as a negative too. But for me, I turned it into a positive because it's allowed me to mentally get over a lot of the BS, man, and tell that voice, you are a champion. You know, my new T-shirt right here, it says, "Be good." That's what we were today. It says, "Be great." That's what we will be tomorrow. This is "Be a champion," and that's in our near future. So this is what I'm manifesting. Today you saw a good Keith Thurman. You're going to see a great Keith Thurman, and you're going to see the champion once again.
Keith, over here. Muhammad Mubarak with the Electronic Urban Report. Excuse me. How does it feel? Does it feel real good to be back after the long layoff, to be back on stage and under the lights and with your hands in the air?
To be honest, it felt great from the moment we were waiting to walk out into the ring. Just seeing the fans, seeing their reaction, seeing all the anticipation, being the main event tonight. There was such a nostalgic feeling to the whole process. Like I said, from just being backstage with my team. It's been so long, yet, you know, Carlos, I haven't seen Carlos in so long, but when we get back together, you know, this is family, man. This is just how we do it. And it just feels like a great blessing. So then we walked out into the ring, you know, then we walk up into the ring. And I took the time, you know, y'all saw me. I took the time before stepping in the ring. I took a look around. You know, we're back. Like you said, under the bright lights. I got in the ring. I felt the ring underneath me. I'm feeling the gloves in my hands, these small gloves. This is not a sparring match, you know. This is a fight. And I had a formidable opponent across from me who trained very hard, very, very young, athletic individual. And it just felt great putting myself on the line once again, you know, living this life of a world-class fighter as a warrior. And then even after the fight was over, we know we had a good performance. My team and I, we were confident that we walked away with the victory today. But even that final step of them holding my hand up in the air, you know, because that didn't happen 2.5 years ago. So I tell people all the time, Keith one-time Thurman wears red, white, and blue because I'm living my all-American dream. I started boxing at the age of 7, and I wasn't the best. I used to get beat up in the sport day after day after day after day. Okay? When you're 7 years old, it's easy to get beat up. When you're 9 years old, it's easy to get beat up. When you're 10, 11, and 12 years old, it's easy to get beat up. Even when I was 14 years old, you know, they would just put me in with Andre Berto to beat me up, you know. So at the end of the day, coach always can make a phone call. We can go to a gym and get me beat up, you know. And I tell people all the time, I got my butt whooped, and now I have the right to kick ass. And it's just a beautiful thing to be living this dream of mine. I love the sport of boxing. I just love it inside and out. It's more than a fight. It's a very sweet science. I call it the beautifully brutal sport. We saw what happened to Mario today, his nose, his eyes, and everything he endured. I had to endure punches. We were trading. We were just real fighters in the ring. I really hope you guys enjoyed what happened tonight. It was a beautiful night of boxing, and I look forward to having more great fights. This is what Keith Thurman's about, creating exciting fights in the welterweight division today.